Imagine picking up a book so small it fits into your pocket, yet it carries the weight of an entire world, quiet, haunting, and profoundly human. Hi, I'm Ridhima. Welcome to the Old Trunk. Today we're deep diving into Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. If you've ever wondered how a story under 120 pages can leave you breathless, stick around. This one's going to hit you right in the soul. In this video, we'll explore the story, of course, spoiler free, the characters, Keegan's masterful writing, and why this book feels like a whisper that echoes long after you close it. So, what is Small Things Like These about? At its core, it's a story about ordinary people grappling with extraordinary moral questions in a small Irish town in 1985. The book centers on Bill Furlong, a coal merchant and family man who's just trying to get through the busy Christmas season. But as he goes about his daily routine, delivering coal, providing for his wife and daughters, he encounters something that shakes the quiet rhythm of his life. I won't spoil what it is, but let's just say it's a moment that forces Bill to confront the tension between doing what's comfortable and doing what's right. The story is set against the backdrop of Ireland in the mid 80s, a time when the Catholic Church held immense power and communities were tightly knit, sometimes to a fault. Keegan doesn't hit you over the head with historical details, but she weaves in just enough to make you feel the weight of the era. Economic struggles, social expectations, and the looming presence of institutions like the Magdalene laundries. Though she approaches this subtly, what makes the story so compelling is how it balances the mundane and the profound. Bill's life is full of small things: coal deliveries, chats with neighbors, moments with his family. But these small things build towards a moment of immense clarity. It's a story about conscience, community, and the choices that define us, all told in a way that feels intimate and universal at the same time. I don't want to give too much away, but if you're drawn to stories that ask big questions through quiet moments, this is for you. It's not a loud, plot driven novel, it's more like a meditation, and that's what makes it so powerful. Before moving further, let me tell you in brief what were Magdalene laundries. The Magdalene laundries were institutions in Ireland, primarily run by Catholic religious orders. From the 18th to the late 20th century, where women deemed fallen or socially undesirable, such as unmarried mothers, sex workers, or those considered promiscuous, were sent. These women were subjected to harsh labor, primarily laundry work, under strict, often abusive conditions. With the aim of moral reform, the laundries operated as a form of social control, and many women were detained against their will, experiencing significant physical and psychological drama. The last laundry closed in 1996, and the issue gained public attention through survivor testimonies and investigations revealing widespread human rights abuse. Coming back to the review, let's talk about the characters, because Claire Keegan has this incredible ability to make even the smallest players feel vivid and real. I'll focus on the major ones: Bill Furlong, his wife Eileen, and a few key towns folk without spoiling the arcs. Bill is the beating heart of this story. He's a coal merchant in his 40s, a father of 5 daughters, and someone who's worked hard to build a stable life. What I love about Bill is how ordinary he is, yet how deeply complex he becomes as the story unfolds. He's not a hero in the traditional sense, no capes or grand gestures here, but he's a man with quiet strength and a restless conscience. Keegan gives us glimpses into his past, like his childhood as the son of a single mother, which shapes his empathy and his sense of duty. In the context of the story, Bill represents the everyman who's caught between personal responsibility and societal pressure. He's not naive, but he's not cynical either. He's just trying to navigate a world where doing the right thing isn't always clear cut. I found myself rooting for him, not because he's perfect, but because he's so human. His internal struggle feels like something we've all faced at some point. That moment when you know something's wrong, but acting on it could upend everything. Eileen, Bill's wife, is fascinating because she's both a foil and a mirror to him. She's practical, sharp, and fiercely protective of their family's stability. Where Bill is introspective and idealistic, Eileen is grounded, sometimes to the point of pragmatism. That feels cold. But Keegan doesn't make her a villain. She's a product of her time and place, shaped by the same social constraints as everyone else. In the story, Eileen embodies the voice of caution, the one who prioritizes survival over sentiment. Her dynamic with Bill is understated but tense, and it highlights the different ways people respond to moral dilemmas. I found myself both frustrated with her and sympathetic. She's not wrong to worry about their family, but her perspective challenges Bill's. The supporting characters, neighbors, customers, and figures tied to this church aren't named as prominently, but they're crucial. The town itself feels like a character, with its gossip, its hierarchies, and its unspoken rules. Keegan uses these characters to show how communities can enable or suppress truth, often without anyone being overtly malicious. There's a particular figure tied to the church who's both kind and intimidating, and their presence looms large without dominating the page. What's brilliant is how Keegan avoids stereotypes. No one is a caricature. Every character feels like they could exist in real life, with their own fears, hopes, and blind spots. In the context of 1985 Ireland, these characters reflect the tension between individual conscience and collective conformity, especially under the church's influence. Why these characters matter together. These characters create a microcosm of a society at a crossroads. Bill's journey isn't just his own. It's a lens into how people navigate morality in a world that rewards silence. Keegan doesn't judge her characters, she lets them breathe, and that's what makes them so memorable. I kept thinking about Bill long after I finished the book. His quiet courage, his doubts, his love for his family. If you've ever read a book where the characters feel like people you could meet, this is it. Okay, we've talked characters, now let's get into what makes this novel sing. Claire Keegan's writing style. Keegan is a master of precision, and her writing in small things like these is like a perfectly cut gem. Every word matters. This book is short, about 110 pages, but it feels so much bigger. Keegan has this knack for saying profound things with minimal words. Her sentences are clean, almost austere, but they're packed with meaning. For example, she'll describe a simple moment, like Bill unloading coal or watching his daughters at the table. And it's so vivid, you can feel the cold air or hear the clink of a cup. It's not flashy, but it's devastatingly effective. Keegan doesn't waste time on flowery descriptions, but she still creates a rich sense of place. The Irish town comes alive through small details: the frost on the ground, the glow of a shop window, the hum of a church service. The tone of the book is quiet but heavy, like a winter morning before a storm. Keegan builds this sense of unease without ever being overt. You feel the tension in Bill's thoughts, in the silences between characters, in the way the town watches itself. It's not a thriller, but there's a suspense in the moral stakes that kept me turning pages. She uses a third person perspective that's close to Bill. So you're in his head, feeling his doubts and hopes. But there's just enough distance to let you see the bigger picture: the town, the era, the systems at play. It's a delicate balance and she nails it. In the book, Keegan's writing is layered with subtle symbolism. The title, Small Things Like These, is a clue. She's obsessed with the little moments that reveal big truths. Coal, for instance, isn't just Bill's job. It's a symbol of warmth, survival, and burden. Christmas, too, isn't just a setting. It's a time of giving, reflection, and moral reckoning. She never spells these out, but they're there if you look. Her subtlety extends to how she handles Ireland's history, the shadow of the Magdalene laundries, and the church's grip on society is present. But she doesn't lecture. Instead, she lets the story breathe, trusting the readers to connect the dots. It's a kind of writing that respects your intelligence. Keegan's style is perfect for this story because it mirrors Bill's life. Understated, deliberate, but deeply felt. It's not for readers who want fast paced action or explicit drama. It's for those who love to linger in the spaces between words. If you're a fan of authors like Alice Munro or Colm Toibin, you'll feel right at home here. Small things like these hit me hard, and I want to share why I think it's such a special book. First, I was blown away by how Keegan makes a small story feel universal. Bill's dilemma, whether to act or stay silent, is something we all face, whether it's speaking up at work, challenging a friend, or confronting injustice. The book asks, what do we owe each other? What does it mean to be good in a world that often punishes it? Those questions stayed with me long after I finished. I also loved how Keegan handles the historical context. The Magdalene laundries and the church's influence are heavy topics, but she approaches them with such grace. This isn't a book that screams, "This is wrong." It's a book that shows you the human cost of silence and complicity, and it trusts you to feel the weight of it. Bill as a character really got under my skin. His quiet decency, his flaws, his love for his family, it all felt so authentic. I found myself wondering, what did I do in his shoes? And that's a sign of a great book. It makes you question yourself. Eileen too challenged me. I didn't always like her choices, but I understood them. And that complexity is what makes the story so rich. Some readers might find the pace slow or the ending understated, but for me, that's part of its charm. It's a book that rewards patience. Overall, this is one of those rare books that feels like a gift. It's quiet, but it's loud in its impact. It's a story about courage, compassion, and the small things that make us human. So let's wrap this up. Small Things Like These is a masterpiece of quiet power. Claire Keegan has crafted a story that's as much about what's unsaid as what's said. And it's one of the most moving books I've read in years. It's a meditation on morality, a snapshot of a specific time and place, and a testament to the strength of ordinary people. The characters, Bill, Eileen, the townsfolk, are unforgettable, not because they're larger than life, but because they're so real. Keegan's writing is a lesson in how to say everything with almost nothing, and her ability to balance beauty and pain is extraordinary. This book isn't for everyone, it's not a thriller or a romance. But if you love literary fiction that makes you think and feel, it's a must read. I'd recommend this to readers who enjoy authors who find the profound in the everyday. If you're new to Irish literature or want a story that resonates on a human level, this is a great place to start. Alright, that's my deep dive into Small Things Like These. I hope I've convinced you to pick it up, or at least got you curious. If you've read it, drop your thoughts in the comments. What did you love? What challenged you? If you haven't read it yet, grab a copy and let me know after. I'd love to hear how it hits you. Thanks for spending time with me. It's been lovely diving into this beautiful book together. If you want more reviews like this, consider subscribing. Like the video if you liked my review, and press the bell icon so that you are notified whenever I upload a new video. Also, check the description for the link to grab this book if you're curious. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay happy. Thanks for watching. Lots of love. Bye-bye.